Hello, I'm Dr. Israel Barkin, the Medical Director of the Prostate Cancer Research and Education Foundation. Every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, we have the Ask Dr. Barkin call-in show, and we discuss during that show certain articles published recently. So let's go now to the articles of today. The subject is high occurrence of aberrant lymph node spread on magnetic resonance lymphography in prostate cancer patients with biochemical recurrence after radical prostatectomy. The magnetic resonance lymphography is actually the Combidex that currently is not available, but there are other tests similar to this that will be available and currently undergo study here in the United States. But anyway, what that study showed that there is high occurrence of aberrant lymph nodes. Aberrant lymph nodes were defined as areas where patients had submicroscopic lymph node involvement in the areas that were not radiated in those patients that need radiation in the prostatic bed, those patients that have recurrent prostate cancer disease after radical prostatectomy. And according to the protocol of radiating the pelvis before radical prostatectomy, the question is that if after radical prostatectomy, whether the targeting of the radiation includes the area that are necessary to really sterilize or kill prostate cancer cell and lymph node submicroscopic. So let's go now in more detail into the study itself. They had here 47 patients that underwent this type of test, the MRL. MRL stands for magnetic resonance lymphography. 47 patients that had PSA recurrence after radical prostatectomy. And they found out that they had aberrant lymph nodes in 37 patients, which means 79% of the patients, they found that they had aberrant lymph nodes involved in areas that wouldn't have been radiated in case they were candidates for radiation. And in 20 patients, 43% with positive lymph nodes were found in the pararectal area. It's an area that really is not being radiated. It's interesting in this study because they took patients that had PSA below 1, and 10 of these patients, 61%, had at least one aberrant positive lymph node. So the conclusion of this study is this: 79% of PSA recurrent patients after radical prostatectomy had at least one aberrant positive lymph node. Application of the standard radiation for the pelvic irradiation in the salvage setting therefore seems to be inappropriate because there are more areas involved with cancer as shown to us by the Combidex. As a side note, the Combidex is not available anymore, but there are ongoing studies now going, and they are using a different material. Thank you for listening, and please join us at the show every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, the Ask Dr. Barkin call-in show. All you have to do is dial the number 1-877-727-3301, and at any time between the show you could dial the same number and you'll be instructed how to record the question for the show. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.